Well, not the same exact.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I think we are live. Is Imam Tawkir in?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope everyone is well today and having an amazing week. It's definitely a stressful week because many people are starting school and many are already into school second or third week. For many, this is the first week of the school, especially I believe middle school, high school, and Alhamdulillah, summer is almost over. We're going into the next semester. So I hope everyone's doing today. And by the grace of Allah, we are here once again with our Muslim summer series. Today will be the last and final episode of the summer series because summer is over. Now, got to get back to work, back to school, get back to education, studying, and reality, inshallah. I hope everyone's doing well today. As always, alhamdulillah, for the last few weeks, we have our amazing youth panelist. We have Brother Taha Beg. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Taha. How are you? I think his screen froze.
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah khair, wa alaikum assalam. Thank you, Brother Taha. Then we have Sister Arush. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Arush. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. I'm good. How are you?
We're great. I'm great. Thank you for joining us again today. Brother Amir, assalamu alaikum. How are you doing, Brother Amir?
Walaikum assalam. I'm good.
Alhamdulillah. And we have Brother Hussein. Brother Hussein, assalamu alaikum. How are you all doing?
Wa alaikum assalam. How about you? How are you? How's everyone?
Alhamdulillah, I am doing well, and I hope that everyone that's watching is doing well as well. We are going to be talking about today how to have a successful school year since transitioning from summer back to school, and how to make that a good transition, a good year ahead of us, and how we can be productive in our school, in our studies, and how we can be successful in our careers as well, and our career in this life and the life hereafter as a Muslim, of course. So, inshallah, I'm going to pass it on to Brother Hussein and our youth panelist over here, inshallah, and they will lead the discussion, and I will be part of the panelist, inshallah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Jazakumullah khair for the panelists and for everyone who's joining us today. So today's topic is basically how to prepare for the school year. Sometimes we find ourselves overwhelmed, and that is because of lack of preparation. So today we're going to shed some light, and obviously everyone here is going to bring in their own experiences, and we are by no means not experts, but only we'll talk about what works best for us. So inshallah, I want to ask the panelists, the first question is, whenever it comes to the new school year or whenever you're starting a new chapter, do you prepare? And if you do, how do you prepare? We can start with
Well, well, it was me, right? Because it was kind of breaking up for me. Okay, so personally, sorry?
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I heard what you said, but I didn't hear if you said my name or someone else's. Personally, how I prepare for school is usually in college, you get to kind of pick your own schedule, time-wise, like hourly-wise. Whereas, like high school, middle school, everything else, all the public schools is usually from a set specific time. I try to cycle my schedule based off of prayer times, so I can kind of I can catch Fajr. I'll be home before Zohar, and I usually never have class on Fridays, so I can always go to the masjid for Jummah. And yeah, so I mean that's one of the few things I do. So.
I do the same thing. Well, I just start college this semester, and I also pick my classes like that. You buy school supplies. I guess if you're in like middle and elementary, you buy school supplies. And I think getting a planner is important so you can like organize your, your deadlines and assignments that are coming up. Yeah, I think in preparation, it depends like what stage you're in.
For me, I think some things that are good to do for preparation for like the school year. When you're in college, it's a little different. Like you don't have as much class time as like if you were in like middle school or high school, 7 hours a day. You have much less than that, but you still have to like commute, go to school, and everything. So you gotta like plan out, like Taha was saying about like try to pick your classes around like whatever time the slot is, and then also sometimes like you're gonna be stuck at school, and then like if you don't pray at school you're gonna miss it, so you gotta like know where to pray. Like at you can go to the library, the bottom floor, like under the first floor, and you can pray there. You just gotta know that stuff.
On a side note, I saw that U of H actually they just made like a prayer room or like a meditation room or something in their like one of their buildings. So
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. That's amazing. And Alhamdulillah, as the population of I would say as the Muslim population increases in universities, there is definitely increase in making a meditation and prayer room. So inshallah, I just want to tell the crowd who and that are watching to take advantage of this. And whenever your school does provide something like this, we don't abuse it. A lot of the times, I've seen cases in high school in which people will abuse the Jum'ah prayer time. They would come out of their classrooms very early and they would hang around and then they would go very late. So we just wanna say that we don't abuse the privilege and do not use the deen by any means to abuse this privilege. And so yeah, mashallah, jazakumullah khair for answering that question. So I just want to say ask another question is how do you stay focused? This is more of when the school starts, when everything is going. How do you maintain your composure and stay focused and not procrastinate? Anybody can go.
I think we all end up procrastinating, even if we say that we don't. So I don't really know about like procrastination because I still end up doing it even when I try not to. But I think, again, like I talked about the planner, but I think that really keeping notes, not like keep writing down assignments and deadlines that you have coming up really helps to stay focused because then you kind of like visualize what's coming in the next few days and you don't like kind of sidetrack because you know that you have to complete these assignments before so and so day.
Yeah, last year what I did, like my second semester, I was one thing that helped me because we didn't go to class, we just had it online. I would like write down everything I had to do on like a sheet of paper. Like if I had like a chemistry like assignment I had to do, or like a calculus like homework that I submit, and I would just write them down, and then like whenever I finish it, I would just check it off or like cross it out, and then that helps me like really get everything done really quickly and like get everything done completely.
And it also gives you like a sense of accomplishment when you check that box off. And also like you can do it on the notes app on your phone and then you can like take the thing and it really helps with that. Yeah.
I mean, personally, I'm not going to lie. I'm a huge procrastinator. I feel like that's pretty common in our age, like she said earlier. I feel like in order to keep your composure, just as important as school is, uh, there's a lot of students that do school, they volunteer at the masjid, they also work, help their parents out. That's the lifestyle they have to live. So I feel like in order to keep your composure, you have to have some sort of me time during the week as well, like some sort of break. Whether it's you go out for a jog, you go out for a movie, or sit down, play video games, or read a book, or whatever your interests really are. I feel like that's one of the least looked on ways to keep your composure, right? Personally speaking.
Yeah, like a self-care day. And it helps with like a mental health too because everybody needs a break and burnout is real.
Definitely, definitely. Burnout is real, and it's something that we don't usually talk about, but is definitely there. So, and I know that some of you guys are doing much more than school. Some of you guys might be working and volunteering. So, I know Taha started the topic, so I want to ask him, how do you balance everything? Knowing that you have school, knowing that you're volunteering in the masjid, knowing that you're volunteering in an organization, and also to make time for yourself. How do you do that?
So it's very, very, very challenging. And I'll be honest, for a very long time, I wasn't able to find a balance at all. It was just wake up, do a bunch of work, go to sleep, and do it all over again the next day. It wasn't until like I really was like, okay, this is affecting my health. I am not feeling okay. Like physically, I was just not, because I was eating the wrong things. I was barely sleeping. Um, but what I do now is more like I just, it's not that hard to take a pause from what you're doing in the middle of the day, right? Especially when you're praying. When like Hamza Gia said this at a during a walk-in one night. He was saying that right after prayers, we're so quick to take out our phones and check what notifications we got. You felt your phone vibrating while you were praying. You want to know who Snapchatted you, who texted you, or like what grade you got on an assignment, which is fine. But like praying is already something that's really not that hard to do during the day. Why can't you take 5 more minutes out after to really just make dua, right? So for me, it was kind of that. It was taking that 5 extra minutes after each prayer, 10 extra minutes, whatever it is, and just breathe for a little bit, contemplate like what I did throughout the day and what I have left to do, and what time kind of want to finish by, right? So then I would come home, and there'll be a lot of times where I would just come home, and I would tell my parents I'm going to sleep. I would tell all my friends I'm going to sleep, but I would spend an hour watching cartoons on Hulu, right? And that was just a way for me to like kind of reset in a way. And I mean, but now I got a new job, so I it works a lot better in my schedule. So when I do get times off, I'll like to go play basketball with my friends, or I'll go out for a movie or something like that.
Any of the other panelists want to add? How do you balance school with work and volunteering and just any other activities as along with school?
So what Taha was saying about the there's like a lot of stuff you have to do. I think that one way to balance everything that you have to do is like you got to realize that sometimes like we say that we're busy when we really have like it's manageable, because if you say that like I have too much to do, I can't really do it all in one day or whatever, you're just not going to do it all in one day. If you really like if you say like I'm not like my I have some work to do but it's manageable, and like you when it's time to do the work, like you don't just like half-heartedly do the work, like you're not on your phone, you're not like zoning out, like you're really like efficiently doing everything, then you'll be able to inshallah get most of their stuff, if not everything, done in a day. Like most people, they would say like I'm really busy, but in reality it's really like doable, because you got to think that whatever I have, there's always going to be like someone that has more than I have to do, and that person isn't saying that they're busy. So if you have the right mindset, and then like you take like the proper steps, like do work efficiently, wake up early to do your work, like you should be able to get stuff done. That's how you can manage.
Yeah, I think the key is to pace yourself and also make sure that you don't overwork and take on things that you know you can't take on.
I just want to go back to kind of what they were also saying, and then a little backtracking to like the self care part. If a lot of people overlook it, but if you do take care of yourself, right, do whatever you need to do to restabilize, it'll improve the way you work. The quality of work you do, whether it's for school, whether it's for literally anything else that you're doing. Once you have that small reset, it like it uppers the quality of the work that you're going to be doing. So you're going to be doing it a lot better.
Yeah, I think
Yes.
that has to do with like study methods too. Like if you study for like 5 hours straight, you start retaining less information the more time goes by. And then if you, for example, I think there's like a method name or something. If you study for like 25 minutes and then take like a 5 minute break, and then you study for another 25, and then you keep doing that, you'll be more like you'll learn better and be more efficient.
Yeah, I think one thing, like the efficiency thing, if you say that you're like busy, and what Taha was saying about like you need some recharge, like if you really like put yourself in the right mindset that you'll be able to get stuff done, and like if this stuff is manageable for you, you'll be able to have time for other things that like will let you, like things that you want to do to have fun. And then like Taha was saying, if you end up doing those things, like if you play basketball, or if you, like, let's say you watch cartoons on Hulu, whatever you do, if you end up doing that stuff with this work that you have to do, your work is going to end up getting better. It's just the mindset, I think.
Definitely, definitely, it is definitely a mindset, and a lot of the times is whenever we great points that you guys mentioned. Whenever we say that we have a lot of things to do, I think the stress and the thinking about just the task that needs to be finished will makes it even a burden, more of a burden rather than actually doing it. And it's basically it's human psychology. So when you have a lot of things that you have to do, and you exaggerate it, it becomes very difficult. But whenever, even though the tasks is a lot, but you tell yourself, hey, I got it, I can do it, I can definitely take care of it, then it will become more enjoyable. And if you have definitely, self-care is something that is very important. If we set self-care at a time in which we set it whenever we finish our tasks, it could push us more to continue doing the task, so that way we're looking forward to something that we love. So that's great points. I just want to ask the panelists, I don't know, some of you guys have been doing remote learning for a very long time. So how excited are you to get back to school and get back to in person?
I mean, I'm still remotely learning, so I would probably pass for this question.
For me, I'm a sophomore in college now. So last year I was my first year of college, and it was all online. So the thing is, like, now this week was my first week, or at least when I started Monday. And then this is the first time I've like been on campus for classes. Like last year I was going to campus a little bit for some tests, but this year is like the first time I've ever been on campus, and it's kind of like it's kind of fun. Like like it's the con, I guess, is that like it takes a while to get there. You end up spending more time like devoted towards school, like the commute, the walking around classes, everything. Or when last year I could just do it all online. But like it's kind of fun, like seeing everybody. Like I just walk around, I see random people that I know from like the masjid or from school, and it's just like, yeah, I guess I'm excited.
I think if this was high school remote learning, I would be very excited. Not to not go on campus, because I was in high school last year and I loved not going there. I would like do nothing all day long. But I start college now, and I feel like going on campus will be so much better than online. I don't think I could, like, because college, like, it's not like you have to like actually pay attention and stuff, and I feel like going in will really help with my focusing, and you get like the college experience. It's better to be there than like just sit at home, because it doesn't feel like you're in school then.
Definitely, definitely. That's true. I'm glad that you guys are excited. I talked to a few people; they were not excited at all. I guess, just staying home for a very long time made them very, very comfortable, and kind of just had them basically pace their own self. So when it came to school, just the idea of taking tests now on campus scares a lot of people. So now it's like, hey, I gotta go to school, I gotta go take exams in school, and I gotta go meet people. So this year has definitely had an impact on a lot of people, and I'm glad that you guys are excited. That you guys are going back to school. So definitely, did you guys start a school, or is it is it just starting this week?
I started this week.
You guys started
on Monday. I started.
Okay, okay. Wow. So basically, this is the first time that you're going to school as a sophomore, college in classes. So how did your first week go, and what advice do you have for those who are starting school maybe next week?
I think for like preparation, like one thing, if you're starting college, college is like completely different than high school. Like for college, like the thing after college usually is either a professional school like medical school, dental school, or it's like an actual job. And then once you get into that job, like you don't have any more time to, like, you don't have any more chances to create, like, to make yourself look better. Like that's gonna end up being your, like, college would end up being like your validation to get into a job. So I think you gotta like take college seriously, and then like from like a dean perspective, like I said before, you should try to like schedule your classes around like your prayers, and then also know where to go like to pray when you're on campus. So yeah.
Definitely, definitely. And have you guys joined or heard about the Muslim Student Association? I'm sure U of H has a very big MSA. Have you guys heard of MSA, and are you guys planning on joining MSA?
Yeah, my high school had MSA, so I'll probably join it in college too. I know they have one, so.
Yeah, I've heard of their. I wasn't in my MSA in high school. I'm not really planning to go to the college one, but I know some people that are in the UH MSA, and I know they're like good people. So I'm sure I'm sure the college MSA is more serious than the high school MSA, because high school MSAs usually are not very, like, they're not very serious.
No way. No. I mean, college is more professional, and you're much more older, you're much more wiser. And what I like about the MSAs are definitely the good talks that we get from different speakers. So it kind of reminds me of the masjid, but it is an environment in which everyone can benefit from it, Muslim, non-Muslim. And it's a great place to meet great people. Some of my great friends today are places in which I met them in the MSA. So definitely, I'll advise everyone to go take a look at it, see how you like it, see how much you benefit from it. But obviously, everything has to come with a balance. You don't want to just be doing so much MSA stuff or attending so much MSA things that you forget to do your school stuff and you fall behind. So just definitely look into that. One other thing I wanna ask the panelists is that I know that we talked about different preparation methods and how to prepare for college and things like that. So how are you gonna hold yourself accountable with the plan that you made ahead of time, and how are you gonna fulfill those responsibilities? Do you have some sort of an accountability in which you're going to take a look and see that the goals that you set are being accomplished, or is it just go with the flow?
I think that I'll just set goals for myself and make sure that, like, check up on myself and hold myself accountable, that I'm kind of working my way towards completing those goals. And like, yeah, because I think at the end of the day, you're not really, like, your parents aren't going to ask you that much anymore. You're accountable to yourself. And so we have to make sure that we're doing what we need to do on our own.
For me, I think it's a little different if you're in high school or in college, because when I was in high school, we had like a lot of quizzes, a lot of preparation before the tests. So like a lot of Allah's back. We had a lot of like chances to know if you're on track before you end up having your tests in high school. But in college, a lot of the stuff is some classes, like majority of the grade, like my chemistry class last year, it was 94% exams. So like in these types of classes, the first exam can actually like really be a big factor on your grade. So the way that I would keep myself accountable is to do like like active learning methods, like do practice tests, practice questions by myself without notes, because that's how you're gonna know if you're ready for the test. So that's what I would do.
So, Taha, welcome back. I was just asking the group basically the goals that you set for yourself and how much accountable are you going to hold yourself? Is it going to be something that you check on yourself every week and just to see how you're doing? Or is it just something you just set a goal and you're just like, okay, whether I fulfill it or not fulfill it, it doesn't matter. So that's why I asked the question. Do you, whenever you set goals, do you tend to get back to it like maybe once a week, twice a week, just to ask yourself how you are doing in the goals that you set, or how do you do that?
For myself, basically since all my classes are online, still, I can see all the grade books with the deadlines, and essentially, I kind of have I have a piece of paper right here with my school schedule and like deadlines for the rest of the month. So I kind of do it on like a bi-weekly basis, depending on it. All depends on when my deadlines are. But yeah, I do sort of have like a calendar where I'm able to see where my standing is. I'm able to see what my grade average is, what I can do to improve it if I need to. And it's just taking it like step by step and keeping myself accountable by kind of watching the clock in a way.
Definitely, Jazakallah khair. Yeah, a lot of the times, the reason why I asked that is because a lot of the times we tend to set goals, but we don't follow on those goals. So we focus so much on setting goals, which is very important, but we don't take a look at seeing whether the goals are being fulfilled or not. So that's why it's very, very important that when we set goals, we are following up on those goals. So whether it is basically weekly basis, once in 2 weeks, once a month, just to see how you're basically approaching that. Because, like some of you guys mentioned, college is not like high school, so you will not have homework, and you will not have a lot of the things that are preparing you for the exam. It's just straight up shot. Here's the exam, take it, see how you do. And I remember when I was in college, one of my colleague was telling me that he took a class and he literally had two exams. He had a midterm and a final. And he said if you basically get a 50 in that midterm, you're pretty much like, that's it, it's over. So there are classes like that in which professors tend to give just exams, and there's some classes in which there's no exams. So it's different, if it's different ways in how you prepare. So my advice is to stay on top of it. Do not as much as it's hard to not stay procrastinated, we do get procrastinated, we're human beings, but to make sure that you stay on top of it and you don't fall behind, because when you fall behind, there's the stress kicks in. That's something that is very hard to deal with. So I know some of you guys are starting college right now, so but I'm gonna ask anyway, how do you deal with stress or under pressure?
I think I get work done faster under pressure. That's why I keep procrastinating. But I don't really know like how to deal with stress that well. Just don't stress. Yeah, I don't know. How do you
Per-
deal with your, yeah.
oh yeah, personally, I feel like I do a little bit better under stress and pressure. I go by this old saying that pressure creates diamonds. So for that reason, I don't suggest it, and I don't think it's a good habit to have. And I try not to do it. I actually now I do try to take care of the assignments as soon as the teacher assigns it to us, so I can be done and over with it. Because like nowadays their schedules can be so chaotic and random, where you might have something planned for the end of the week, but then you have to scrap it out because your car broke down, or your little brother isn't feeling well. You have to take care of somebody, or you have to do random things. But yeah, I don't suggest it at all. It's a bad habit, but just letting you guys know, I was able to complete 4 essays in 6 hours one time. So yeah.
I think stress is like a natural thing for everybody. If you don't have stress, you're probably not doing enough, or because like everyone has, or most people have hard tests, and that's obviously gonna give you a little bit of stress. If you're not applying yourself, if you're not putting yourself in places where like stuff is hard for you, then it's probably not worth it for you. Like you're gonna like the stress is just something that comes with it. And the thing about stress is stress can actually be a good thing. I remember I was reading in high school, I was in some health science class, and I was supposed to like research about stress and like the effects of stress. And I remember some studies were saying that, or a lot of studies, like this is like a pretty concrete thing. Like the right amount of stress actually makes you perform better. Like Taha was saying, like diamonds are like formed under pressure or whatever. Like that comes from like truth. Like stress is there to help you. And the thing to do is like you shouldn't be like consumed by your stress. The way to like help yourself like not get overcome by stress is just to like put in the work, like do the practice, and then like believe that you'll be able to complete the like do well on your exams, on your assignments, whatever you're doing. Like at the end of the day, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what's gonna happen. But if you put in the preparation, you make the dua, like that's all you had to do.
MashaAllah.
So I think that if you're gonna stress anyway, might as well stress on the right things. So like Amir said, you're gonna stress anyway over like tests and these big things. So stress over that and don't stress over these minor assignments that you decided to complete super late for no reason. So like to de-stress a little bit of that you're going to have anyway, just complete assignments a little bit before the deadline. And it's not gonna hurt anyone. At the end of the day, you're saving yourself some of that like freaking out.
Definitely, definitely. And I think, yeah, stress is a natural thing, and it helps us perform much better. So I'm glad that you guys have mentioned that the only time I believe stress becomes very bad is when it turns into an anxiety, and that's a separate topic that we're not going to get into today. I want to switch gears and ask the panelists how college for some people, you guys are starting. How do you make friends? Let's talk about that. Anybody can go.
I guess I can go first. The the thing for me is in college, it's you gotta like I've kind of realized that like half the school, the freshmen and the sophomores, it's their first time on campus. So like a lot of these people don't know people. Like I know like a lot of people at school. Like whenever I'm with people at school, I'm with people that I already know. But the thing is, whenever I go into classes, like I don't know anybody in the classes. And that's the same thing for like the person sitting on my right, sitting on my left. Like it's like these people are in the same shoes that these people are in the same shoes that I'm in. Like they don't know anybody in the class, and it's their first time on college or in college. So like you can an easy way to just like talk to people is just like ask about like the material that's in the lecture. Like, and I guess in high school is honestly a little different. Like if if you see someone who's not if you see someone who's what's it called, quiet, like not really talking to anybody, I guess you can go talk to them. It's not very like it's gonna be a little awkward, but like after like it's always awkward whenever you first meet someone. And the other thing to know is like about friends, like you shouldn't try to be friends with everybody. Like you should pick your friends like wisely, because like your friends are kind of what's gonna impact you, and you got to pick like the right friends in order to stay like on the right path.
So I think that in the end, the person that you talk to is going to be happy that you reached out to them first because, like Amir said, everybody's in the same shoes since, like, we're all starting at the same time in person. They're probably thinking in their head that, oh my God, like maybe I should talk to somebody. And if you talk to them first, then there you go. Like they won't think that that's really weird. And also, you really do pick your friends wisely because especially when you go study groups, I saw this somewhere. If you go, you have to pick who you study with because if you study with people who are more like kind of fooling around the whole time, you're not going to get much done. You want to go study with the people who are like super like, like trying to get those academic goals in. So picking your friends is really important, I guess, because in the long term, you're going to have them.
So, like Amir was saying earlier, you just gotta kind of be able to approach, new people. My mentality is also a little different. I'm a really friendly person. I'll talk to anybody and everybody. So making friends isn't really that hard, but a good tip or a trick in order to, I guess, make friends in your classes, especially if you don't know anyone, is to just ask for everybody's name and then say I'm going to make a group chat for the class and get everybody's contact information. And that way everyone's like, okay, this guy is friendly, he's trying to help us out. We'll do the same. And then, just off of that. And the thing about college, right, in specific, is that just because you have a class with somebody that semester and you don't get along with them, just write it out for that semester. You're probably never going to see them again, anyways. So, I mean, that's if you are having a little bit of a beef with a person in your class. But for the most part, from my experience, people are usually a lot friendlier. I've always left off on a good note. Everybody's there for the same reason, right? They're all in this similar shoes as you, like Amir said. So, it's better to go through the semester talking to each other and understanding the material, helping each other out. When there's an exam coming out, so you can study with each other, whether it's homework or whatever the topic is. And and sometimes it sucks to say you're gonna have to be the person to really put your hand out there, right? Not everybody's gonna come grab your hand and be like, "Hey, you want to be friends?" Sometimes you're gonna have to be the one saying it. So yeah, just be a little bit more outgoing and be a little more creative into how to make friends, right? Think about how you would want people to approach you.
Definitely, definitely. Jazakumullah khair. It is definitely everybody brought great points, and one thing that I love is your friends is gonna be who you are, and especially if you're beginning and you're starting college right now, those people that you meet in the beginning will be those people that you would probably spend a lot of time with. So just make sure that you choose your friends wisely. And may Allah make it easy for all of us, especially coming off of a pandemic that has been very difficult. And some of us who've been very social might be very hard for us to start making friends again. But inshallah, we hope and pray that we'll make better friends. Imam Tawkir, would you like to give us any advice?
Walaikum assalam. Jazakumullah khair, Brother Hussein. No, thank you so much. MashaAllah. The program, very smooth, very good feedback from all of you. MashaAllah, I'm very happy and glad to hear your thoughts. And those are some practical tips and points that you're sharing. And I think that you already covered the part about when we go to school, especially high school. I know college is a little different because you're flexible, and as you all already mentioned. So when it comes to high school, high school, middle school, or even elementary, is one of the issue is that from Monday through Friday, you're at school for like 8 hours. Literally, you're getting back at like 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock, 5:30. If you're taking a bus, it can take really long. So you're not really left with much of the time, with much of the day afterwards, right? So if somebody wants to pursue, Quran, Hafiz, or I don't know, extracurricular activities or studies, how do you manage that? And how have you guys been doing that after school programs or after school classes? And how important for us to kind of do Islam or Quran programs afterwards as well?
Um, so I think I was saying before that if you think that you're busy, you're gonna end up doing less work than if you have the mindset that like you can get all this stuff done. I think as far as high school, like you may be coming back at like 4. I don't think anyone comes back at 5:30, but you might be coming back at like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, stuff like that. But you still have like the thing is about high school, like you have much less work. So once you like, if you get back home, you try to finish everything up within like like an hour, 2 hours. So sometimes you're not even gonna have any work. Sometimes you're gonna have more work, but like you just gotta when you have the time, or when you have like little work from school, once you get home, you have that time to do other things. Like if you're trying to do hifz, like you were saying, like it's gonna be easier to do hifz in high school than it is in college. Like you have the time after school. If you're trying to do like I don't know, like volunteering or something, you're gonna have that time on the weekends. You're gonna have that time on like some days you have early release from school, some days you have holidays. You're gonna have that time. You just gotta make sure, like you just gotta have the mindset that you can do all this stuff.
So in high school, I kind of think back, and I think it depends from person to person. A lot of people take like so many APs and whatnot, and they're like bombarded with so much work. And then like if you're just taking like regular classes, then you really don't have that much stuff to do. Like Amir said, you find time. But I think that he's right. Like in college, you have a lot more work to do, and sometimes you're working towards like internships, or like if you're like shadowing or volunteer work. And so in high school, you find much more time. Even if you get back really late and you start really early, there's still time in the rest of the day and then on the weekends to work towards the stuff that you want to do outside of school.
So, school does take up a lot of time. Not college. I'm speaking public schools. My little brother comes back from school at like 4:30, and when he was in football practice will end, and he'll come home around like 6. So, from my experience, from when I went to middle school and high school, I feel like living in Houston in specific, it's it's more welcoming towards religion than a lot of other cities in the country. Even Fort Bend-ISD is the most diverse county in the country as well. It's a fact, and I feel like in middle school, one of the counselors let us have a room, one of the offices, for us to pray during lunch. And they said, look, you can stay there the whole lunch if you want to, but that's the only time you have access to that office. So if you want to spend 2 minutes or 20 minutes or your whole lunch period, that's up to you. So, my friends and I would go there and pray in middle school. And then high school, there was MSA. Austin high school MSA was a little different. Our MSAs were on Thursdays for some reason. It wasn't until my senior year where MSA was on Fridays. But regardless, I was still able to talk to one of the APs, Mrs. Khan, and she was able to assign an office where we can access during lunch. And they were really cool about it. So I feel like, in order to, I guess, make time for whatever it is, first you need to realize that you actually want to make time for it, and then figure out where to go from there. Sometimes all you have to do is ask somebody who's in a position above you, right? And they could help you out a lot.
Definitely, definitely. Jazakumullah khair, everyone. And just to answer that question, it comes down to how important what you want to do is. So memorizing the Quran, gaining knowledge in Islam, it just depends on how much important it is. So the best thing to do is to basically set time and set goals for yourself, and to make sure that they're fulfilled. And some of you guys mentioned that you will have free time on the weekend, you will have free time on the holiday. So definitely that's when we take advantage of that. So I want to thank all the panelists for attending this, and this being the last one. I hope and I pray that inshallah we do this in the future, and hope and pray that this was beneficial for everyone that attended. And we hope and pray that we fulfill all these goals that we set for ourselves. Jazakumullah khair all for attending, and inshallah I'll give the floor to Imam Tawqir to conclude, inshallah.
Jazakumullah khair. Thank you, Brother Hussein, for moderating and Sister Arush, Brother Taha, Brother Amir, and our previous panelist, Sister Alyssa, Alian, thank you, and Brother Hassan, Sister Tuba, Sister Uzma, Sister Shatta, and Brother Hassan Siddiqui as well. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it from us. We hope that this is beneficial for all of us, inshallah. We will come up with more programs, and we'll make sure that we have programs included with the youth. So jazakumullah khair. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept it from all of us. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wal asr innal insana lafi khusr illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihati wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thanks, guys.